Thank you, Chair. Last year in March, the water strategy was first as a draft presented to the board. The purpose of the strategy is to provide direction to the SRD for its management of the water services for the upcoming 10 years. Since it was first presented to the board, to the committee, and then to the board, staff have reached out to the town of Gibsons as well as Seashell Nation and Squamish Nation, and the version currently presented in front of you is updated with their remarks and any other, and there were some updates made to improve readability and to align with current developments that are out there that happened since it was first presented to the board. And staff are here to answer any questions you still might have. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Chair, and a big thank you to everybody involved in this document. That was a big job. Want to especially thank the members of the Water Supply Advisory Committee for all their diligent work on this really important document. I would like to propose a slight amendment that will not change the document very much, but it's just the purpose would be to just acknowledge that the Sunshine Coast is a really popular tourist destination, and we do experience a surge in population in the summer months, and that's when our water supply is the most stressed. So, and I do understand that we don't yet have all the data, like what the impacts of tourism have on our water supply, and we'll know more when all the meters are installed and when the data starts coming in. But I'd like to just add on in the introduction on page 1, like the very first paragraph, to change it to the SCRD delivers treated drinking water to over 24,000 residents and additional seasonal population during summer months, or something to that effect. And I'm wondering if other directors are okay with that change?
I mean, it seems a fairly minor change. I think Director Stamford just seconded the motion that you sort of made. So it makes sense. We are a seasonal hotspot, and we do see a huge surge in our population in the summertime. So, directors, any discussion on this motion to just make a small amendment to the water strategy?
Well, would you want to wordsmith that? I'm open to.
Reiterating it for me.
Yes, if you could repeat it for
Yes.
the recording staff, thank you.
The SCRD delivers treated drinking water to over 24,000 residents and additional seasonal population during the summer months.
Not that we want to take a whole ton of time wordsmithing the entire document,
Right.
but so that we'll, it is a good point. And I know that we had at least one resident write in about this particular issue, so I don't see any speakers to this, so maybe I'll call the question on the motion to make the small amendment to the document. All those in favor? Any opposed? All right, now, since you're already making motions, Director Gabius, did you want to move in anything else?
Sure. Let me see here. Where are we? Oh, yes. I would like to move the recommendation on page 22 of the agenda.
In this case, it'd be that the Sunshine Coast Regional District Water Strategy 2025 to 2035 be adopted as amended.
As amended.
Thank you. And I think I saw a seconder. Thank you, Director McMahon. And directors, any discussion on the motion to adopt the water strategy? If not, this is voting all directors as a weighted vote. I'll call the question. All those in favor? And any opposed? That is carried. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that, for catching that and bringing it forward. So we're going to move on to item 6.4, which is the Selma 2 Reservoir Valve Stem Contract Award. And we'll turn this over to, do staff have an introduction for it? Go ahead, GM Rosenboom.
Thank you, Chair. Before the summer break, staff brought forward a report explaining that some urgent work was required on some valves on our main reservoir, Selma 2 reservoir, up at the treatment plant. This is the first of two reports. This is the report contract award for the actual delivery of the valve stamps itself. Because of the lead time of several months, we found it prudent to bring this report forward. And next month we will get next month the board will see a report on the actual contract for the actual installation of the valves. But because of the lead time, we want to get them ordered as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions or discussion? Directors? Or a motion? Director McMahon?
Yes, I would like to move the recommendations on page 41.
Thank you, and I've got a seconder for that. This one is flagged as a weighted vote, all directors. It's a contract award. So I don't see any hands up. Oh, Director Bax, are you? Okay, just getting ready to vote. Thank you, Director Bax. Then I will call the question. All directors, all those in favor? And any opposed? That motion is carried. All right. Now, moving on to item 6.5. This is notice on title, and we'll welcome our chief building official up to the front. Good afternoon, Mr. Kennett.
Thank you and good afternoon. Subject to receiving a recommendation from the building official, Section 57 of the Community Charter authorizes the board to pass a resolution to have the corporate officer register a notice on the land title of a property where a condition with respect to a building contravenes a regional district bylaw. Today's report includes background information related to 3 properties where such matters exist, along with recommendation for the board's consideration. All property owners have been notified of the opportunity to speak to the matter at today's meeting. Only the owner of property number 2 has informed staff of their intentions to participate in advance. Staff would be happy to try and answer any questions the board may have.
Thank you very much. And just before I go to directors, I will double check. Is there anybody online wishing to speak to property number 1, which is 12782 Mainsail Road in Area A?
Chair, there's an individual named Raquel with their hand up. Is that a name that the chief building official recognizes?
Unaware of that name.
I'm hesitant to pronounce.
So am I. We do see somebody online with their hand up. Raquel, if you're associated with this property and wish to speak to it, please leave your hand up. Otherwise, if you wish to speak to anything else in the agenda, there will be an opportunity for questions at the end of the meeting. Okay, now that, thank you for that. Now I will turn to the area director, as it is an Area A property, to see if you've got any questions or discussion or want to make a recommendation, Director Lee?
Yes, that we accept the recommendation.
Okay, that's recommendation 1.
Yes.
Thank you. And do I have a seconder for that? Thank you, Director McMahon. Any further or any discussion on the motion? This is voting all directors. I will call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? That is carried. All right. Okay, we'll move on to property number 2.
Sure.
Okay. 12696 Lagoon Road, also in electoral area A. Did you want to introduce anything to this, or?
Nothing specifically. As I mentioned previously, the owner would like to speak to the matter, and if the board has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you. Mr. Topham, I believe you've been promoted and should be able to address the board.
Yes, can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine.
Okay, great, thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to, Brian has chatted with me throughout, and I appreciate his info and advice. And he's kind of told me that generally the board goes with his recommendation here. So I don't want to take up too much time, but I did just want to say that I have been actively in the process of rectifying the situation. It turns out, unbeknownst to me at the time of this construction, unpermitted construction, that I have to go through some development permits and variances as well. And so I've been working with a CRD planning, Kieran, as well as a QEP, David at Coastal Rain Tree Consulting, to resolve those matters first, as advised to me. So it is my plan to go through the process naturally and to get to the building permit part of it, and to obviously get this notice of title, whether it gets put on today or not, to deal with that as well. So yeah, with that understanding, I don't want to take up your time. I just want to say that I'm actively working to resolve all of this.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time here to explain your situation to us. Director Lee, or any of the directors, any questions or discussion? Director Lee?
How long would it take to come into compliance? Like if we bought it, if I made a motion to bring it back the next board, for instance, would we know more about it?
Are you asking me, Leonard?
Sorry, I was questioned through the chair for our chief building official.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the question, through the chair. I can only provide the timelines associated with processing the building permit. The other development permit and variance permit, depending which path is taken for the variance, I'd only be speculating on the time. And again, there's a lack of certainty with the approval of a variance. But I would, if I was to speculate, which I said I wouldn't, I would say months.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kennett. I mean, we've said it in the past with other properties that have come in. Putting notice on title is not an overly burdensome task to undo. But if something changes or circumstances change, it does protect both the organization as well as any potential future property owners. Director Lee, did you have anything further?
No, I commend the owner for working with us, but I think the prudent course is to follow the recommendation as our chief building inspector made. So I believe that's number 2 on the recommendation list, right?
Thank you, Director Lee. And I've got a seconder for that recommendation as well. Directors, any further discussion on the motion? If not, I will call the question. All those in favor? And that is carried. Thank you again, Mr. Topham, for being with us today.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
All right. And then finally, we have item number 3, 4870 Francis Peninsula Road, also in electoral area A. Anything to add, Mr. Kennett, or?
Nothing to add. Thank you.
Okay. And I do see, Raquel, I see your hand up. Are you associated with, if you're associated with property number 3, please keep your hand up. If you are not associated with property number 3, there will be an opportunity for questions at the end of the meeting. And thank you for your contributions, Raquel. With that, I will turn to the electoral area A director. if he's got any questions.
I can't make that kind of noise. I'd like to make a motion to accept the recommendation number 3 as submitted.
Thank you very much. Do I have a seconder for that? Thank you, Director Gabius. Any further discussion on this one? If not, I'll call the question. All those in favor? And that is carried. Thank you, Mr. Kennett.
Thank you.
Thank you, Raquel. We look forward to never seeing you again. And with that, we're going to move on to item 6.6, which is a request for exemption from SCRD noise control bylaw number 597 for BC Ferries. This was a late addition. Did you wish to speak to it? No? Okay. The report's there for information. Director Stamford?
Thank you, Chair. I've mentioned this before, that it would be good to always know what their communication strategy is when they are doing these type of things. This level of noise does impact the community around Langdale Terminal, so I'm never sure who gets the information and how far it needs to go. So that's my only comment on this particular.
Thank you, Director Stamford. The letter, which is the second attachment, does cover off the communications efforts.
It just came in, so I didn't see that.
Yep. And Director Stamford, given that it's basically, it's your area, did you want to make the recommendations?
Yeah, I'll make the recommendations as presented.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder for that? I've got a couple of seconders. Thank you. Any discussion on the motion? Looking for hands. My apologies. My screen went weird on me there. I don't see anybody with their hands up, so I will call the question. All those in favor? And nobody opposed. That motion is carried. Okay, thank you. That takes us to, we have no communications, we have no motions, we have no bylaws, and we haven't struck directors' reports. So we're going to do directors' reports. Directors recognizing that, we had the August break. If you have nothing to report, that is perfectly okay. And I'll start to my right and look to Director White.
Yeah, we haven't, obviously, there's been no council meetings for Town of Gibson's in August. And we have had one council meeting in September so far. The big focus for us, continues to be, but is really intensifying to finish up our official community plan and zoning bylaws, which we're scheduled to finish up around the end of the year. So there's continued public input into the zoning bylaw that is kicking off. A lot of public input's already been collected for the OCP, which will be presented to council publicly in early October. Of note to the SCRD, part of the process has been that our director of planning made a presentation to the planning department here and maybe various other staff. I heard it went really well. She had a lot of great input and questions that she reported back. She was really pleased with how that session went, that cooperation and interaction with the regional district staff. As for other work, I've been really busy with advocacy work as September has hit, particularly with the big childcare crisis, which I'm sure everybody's heard of. That's been like an hourly work for me. It's constant. So lots of communications with the MLA, who's totally on board and trying to find solutions with the school district, with the YMCA, with the provincial government, and that's taking up a lot of time. And the parents have been just amazing in the way they've come forward and advocated, and really professionally, really respectfully, and really, it's really impressive how much they've learned and are about childcare. It's like the expertise is far beyond just being parents in the system that they're expressing. So yeah, there's that advocacy. Also, water stewardship is always, transportation is always, and the beachcombers too. We're working on getting the beachcombers re-released in some way, and the Persephone restored and back on public land for public viewing in Gibsons.
Thank you very much, Director White. Director Inkster. I'll just keep working my way up the table and then across.
From your political right? No. Yeah, lots of issues, challenging issues for us in local government: daycare, derelicts, housing at the end of August, early September, and they're all issues that don't have easy solutions. So I spoke to some of the stuff that's been in our meetings in the last number of days, at previous meetings today. I just wanted to mention, I've noticed this before with forest fires in BC previously, where people weren't going to the Okanagan, they were coming up here. And I'm quite sure there was a Trump pushback this summer, and a lot of people were staying in Canada, hence coming up to the Sunshine Coast. So I don't know if everyone noticed how busy the highways were, especially with the choke point being Seashelt in a lot of ways. And so it's very busy going through there. Trying to get on the road in Seashelt sometimes is very difficult with the people moving fast in and out of Seashelt. So once again, traffic, highway challenges, our highway, and it's aging, the aging highway, and the fact that the ferry doesn't consider September a continuation of the holiday season to keep that extra boat on for at least until Thanksgiving, which would be really helpful. Because we all know if we look outside and it's beautiful, other people know that it's beautiful here, and they're still coming until at least Thanksgiving. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Director McMahon.
Thank you. I tried my very best to have an SCRD-free August. I did not succeed, but it's always worth trying. There was a public information meeting for Block D, which is on Chester at the intersection of King. It's the last significant undeveloped parcel in Area E. The hall was packed. It was standing room only. Residents expressed a number of concerns about the development, which backs on an existing neighborhood that's fairly densely developed, so it has quite a lot of impact on them. And you will be undoubtedly hearing more about this in future. I'm working with the residents as much as I can. A lot of their concerns are around the traffic alignment that the Ministry of Transportation is requiring. If you have driven through Elphinstone lately, you will have observed that the speed limit has dropped to 60 kilometers per hour, which is just absolutely amazing. It should have happened 25 years ago, but what the heck, it actually has finally happened. The crosswalk is in at Poplars, thanks to a lot of work by our local ministry representative, Jeremy Waxel. And the crosswalk in front of Wood Creek Park is slated to go forward, but it's not quite clear right now whether there will be delays. However, we had a little impromptu celebration on Saturday with our MLA, the manager of the Poplars Mobile Home Park, a couple of representatives from the Wood Creek Park Neighborhood Association, Jeremy, two folks from Vancouver Coastal Health, and a representative from Transportation Choices Sunshine Coast. And we donned our Visi vests and pressed the button and crossed the street. And then we pressed it again and crossed back. It was very exciting. So I want to thank all of them, because All of them have been advocates for better public safety following the death of no fewer than 4 pedestrians in less than 2 kilometers of the Sunshine Coast Highway that goes through Area E. We hope that there will be no further pedestrian deaths, although I must say that this morning I saw several people dashing across the highway in heavy traffic, which kind of makes your heart want to stop. However, the crosswalks are aligned with our bus stops, and that's the critical piece, so that it is going to be much safer to take transit on the Sunshine Coast, and that's what we want. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Director Gabius.
Thank you, Chair. I drove across Canada last month, which was wonderful. If anyone wants recommendation on motels, I am now a motel booking artist. I've become very good at it. Coffee chats are back at the general store in Half Moon Bay. So every Saturday morning, I sit down with coffee and invite people to come and bend my ear. And if any of you would like to join me, maybe you could have some special guests. So let me know. Just want to point out to all my fellow area directors that the deadline for OCP engagement is September 14th. So need to make a big push with everybody to contribute. Top of mind in Half Moon Bay right now, obviously road safety with the accident that happened last month, and potholes and lines needing to be painted. So we're working on that. And also invasive species management, which is a hot topic as well. And we're going to be looking into that, especially at UBCM. I went to Car Free Day in Seychelles. That was wonderful. It was so good. So nice to see when you remove cars from a street, what happens. It was activated. There were so many people. It was really incredible. I had a great time. Quiet. Lots of dogs, too. It was really great. And walls are going up at Connor Park at the new hall, which is wonderful to see, and also really happy and want to thank staff for all the work that they've done with the Half Moon Bay Community Association to come up with the agreement. So they'll be taking over the lease in November 1st, I believe. That was the news release that went out. So good news in Half Moon Bay. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I made it out to Car Free Day last year, but everything in the community is always on a Saturday, and until recently, Saturdays were my one day to work a normal job, so I haven't made it to any community events hardly on a Saturday, so I'm looking forward to being able to see more of these things, and got to partake in the wooden boat parade up in Pender Harbor, and that was a whole ton of fun, but I'll wait for my turn. So Director Stanford.
Thank you. Just a short report. Although August is our non-official month, there's certainly a lot going on the coast. That's our high activity month for community. I've been happy to support the West Howe Sound Community Association's initiatives around emergency planning. They're really pushing the OCP response and engagement process. I'm not sure what the uptake is like, but certainly for no lack of trying from the West Howe Sound area. And they've been working with, one of the issues is, again, the road safety around the Langdale School area in Port Mellon. On the islands, lots of great community events. We had a golf cart parade that went way above and beyond the things you can do with a golf cart, and you don't have to worry about regulations. Art shows, fairs, you name it, it was on there. And I'd just like to mention that at the beginning of August, I hosted our CAO for a day, and Tina came over for a review of the SCRD assets and also New Brighton Docks. So it was good to go around and look at the facilities on Gambier. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Director Paul.
Hi, it was a pretty quiet August. I had most of it off, so we did stay in Canada as our trip for vacation, which was really good, to the East Coast, which is the second best coast. So that was really exciting. SNGD has already had one meeting and stuff, and we're moving on to our infrastructure projects and stuff like that. So that's exciting and going to get busy, including water meter installations finally. So we'll be able to use some of the skill and knowledge from the SCRD and District of Sechelt has had with ironing out problems for us. So hopefully it goes well, and we'll get those in and be able to supply data and stuff like that to that, so that we can show people how it works and continue to be open about that process. So should be pretty good, and then that's about it.
All right, thank you for that. Director Lee? And then don't worry, Director Bax, I will come to you once Director Lee has given his report.
Yes, I was driving on the highway, and that crosswalk light came on, and there was parents showing their children how to use the crosswalk and make sure that the cars' lights were on and the cars were stopped. It was very impressive. I thought it was, I'm with Donna, it's way late coming. It should have happened a long time ago. And I was quite impressed with the fact that cars are slowing down now. I guess people knew it was dangerous, but they also felt the pressure of that 80 kilometers. Now that's gone. So I think it's a definite improvement. Wooden boat show, it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of boats at the dock. And I'll leave it to Alton to talk about the parade. There's also a car show on the Sunday, which was great. And there was some cars there that weren't at Sechelt. They were local cars. But there was cars that were at Sechelt as well that came up. It was good too. I spent an hour there, even though I shouldn't have, because I was supposed to be at the wooden boat show. We had a Boy Scout cleanup at Camp Burley last Sunday, and it was very impressive. There was scouts from Gibson's to Egmont there, and their parents showed up, and the Rotary showed up, and what they were doing is they were fire smarting Camp Burley, and I took 4 loads of green waste to the dump, and I had one load with a lot of big stuff in it, but I didn't get over the limit, so it looks like a pickup load of green stuff is pretty good. I was told that if I went over 400 kilograms, it was going to cost me $80, so, which was an interesting thing. And that's my report. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Director Lee. I was waiting for the email about when that cleanup was going to be happening, so I'm sad I missed it. But you'll have to get me on that mailing list for next year. Director Bax, I'll turn to you.
Sure, thank you. Yeah, so August was pretty slow. I did attend as a volunteer Creek Days. It was, and I did answer a few emails and meet with some constituents. It's really hard to get back to work, so I'm currently on the other side of Howe Sound from the regional district and enjoying my the last bit of summer. I am also involved in the advocacy work that Director White spoke of. We've arranged for a meeting at UBCM to talk to the Minister of Childcare, Lisa Bear, and we're going to be meeting next week with some of the people involved in childcare on the Sunshine Coast to put together our talking points to try to put forward the urgency that the ministry has to do to pay attention to the Sunshine Coast to help us in this time of crisis, because it's an important part of our economy, and parents depend on the childcare system. And besides that, nothing much to report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director Bax. I'm just going to touch on a couple of things. The boat parade up in Pender Harbor was absolutely fantastic. It's the first time I've got to experience it from shore or on a boat, and Director Lee was gracious and hosted myself and my family on his boat. So yeah, that was quite the flotilla. that partook in that, and everybody with their flags and waving and honking, and people on shore waving to friends and family that are in the parade. And yeah, no, it was quite an enjoyable experience. I think the couple things I want to mention, with the accident that happened in Half Moon Bay, well, actually technically in Seashelt, on the highway at Red Roofs Road. Obviously, a lot of conversations around, further highway improvements, turn lanes, repainting, alternate routes. The community made use of a number of connected logging roads in the backcountry to get around the road closure. And I know the community forest is sort of exploring possible mechanisms to be able to sign an alternate route through the backcountry. But the problem is, if you encourage people into the backcountry, turns out you're liable. And so they've got to work through the liability piece before they can really commit to that contribution to the community. Went to the Labor Day picnic last week down in Gibson's, and it's been a few years since I've been there for that. And it was always good to see the number of people that come out to support labor and support families and good working conditions for everybody. Did have an opportunity to check out the SCRD OCP booth because the SCRD was there, and hang out with Minister Neal's crew, and also a little bit of time with Patrick's crew because the two of them had tents side by side on the field. Somebody pointed out that Patrick is perhaps the first MP to actually spend any time at going to the Labor Day picnics. So I don't know if somebody wants to fact check me on that one, but it was quite a good event. And then in Seashelt recently, we had a resident who was working through some challenges because as they're getting older, they're wanting to still be mobile. Transit doesn't work for them necessarily. But recognizing the safety of driving a larger vehicle if you're getting older and not as quick to respond. And so this resident worked through our engineering and our corporate staff to learn that Seashelt back in 2011 had changed our bylaws to allow for, they're called low-speed vehicles. And so they look like golf carts, but they've got turn signals, headlights, seat belts. They're actually road insured. He's got an ICBC license plate on his vehicle. But they're speed limited to 42 kilometers an hour. So they can only be operated where the road network is 50 kilometers an hour or below. And so even though the bylaw change came in 14 years ago, Seashelt got its first low-speed vehicle just a couple of weeks ago. So super cool. He's going to be in all the parades coming up to show it off. It's fully electric. It's speed limited to 42 kilometers, but he gets like 80 kilometers of range on a charge, which, considering he can't leave Seashelt because there's only one road, it handles any and all daily driving he wants to do. So super cool stuff. Director Stanford, would you like to be introduced?
Yes. Does Gibson's have the same bylaw? Please say yes.
So the province has rules that say, like, you're allowed to drive them in jurisdictions where the speed limit's up to 40 kilometers an hour. You're not allowed to drive them on roads that are rated to 60 kilometers or and above. But in that 40 to 50 kilometer an hour gap, it's actually up to the municipalities to implement bylaws to allow for it.
Right.
So it's a very narrow gap. And yeah, back in 2011, it was identified in Seashelt as a gap. So
Seashelt passed a bylaw in 2011.
yeah,
Interesting.
and nobody's ever followed up on that since then. So yeah,
There's been interest in golf carts from a couple of people.
yeah.
It's not a.
I think Director Stanford would like to talk to Gibson's more.
I've kind of said, not in our strategic plan. You can come to us and propose it, and I know we've got one counselor who's excited about it too. So I always go like, "Hey, bring it forward," but it hasn't happened. So
I think Seashelt's bylaw is less than a page long.
Yeah.
That allows for it, and it's literally just to provide permissions on the 40 to 50 kilometer an hour range roads. It's a weird gap in provincial law, but anyways, I think we'll leave it there for today. And we have no new business, but we do have a motion, if it so pleases the board, that the public be excluded from attendance at the meeting in accordance with section 91, D and K, M, and 2B of the community charter. Moved, seconded. All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you, Director Bax. So we're going to go in camera. Are there any questions from our gallery? All right. If not, we're going to move along.